Welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I'll be guiding you on this journey today. So, we are continuing on with the menstrual cycle series. By the time these videos come out, it will have been 28 days from the last time, or I guess maybe the first time that I posted this series, both the last and it was also the first. And we are now in the follicular phase, which is the period of time that comes right after menstruation. Now, a couple of disclaimers. You do not have to be in this phase of your cycle for you to watch these videos. You also don't have to be a menstruating person in order for you to watch these videos. If you are a menstruating person, you can certainly save these videos and come back to them once you are in that period of your cycle, if you track it. But otherwise, we're following the themes of that phase. And for the follicular phase, the themes around that are new beginnings, energy building, activating, maybe gaining some momentum, planning. In the menstruation video, we were talking about returning to the true self. And we'll see what comes out in this video. So without further ado, I'm like, are there any other disclaimers? I can't think of any. So, if I do, then I'll then I will. But let's get a card, or yeah, that's too many. A card or two from the Sacred Cycles Oracle. We have the first quarter moon, and let me just put like a I don't know, YouTube can be kind of weird about women's imagery, Okay, so let's get some tarot out for the follicular phase. What are we building, planning? What is emerging? Maybe even, opening or activating. We have the Lovers. Co-creation. I love that. What else? The Fool, beautiful. King of Swords. I don't know, maybe one more card. One more card. We have two. I think we have enough room for that. We have the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Beautiful. Okay. And get our Witch Oracle, woman in total control of herself. And then Alchemy of the Spirit. Alchemy of the Spirit. The House. Okay, let me just make sure that all of the cards are in frame. Okay, let's read what this first quarter moon card is talking about. And I kind of love the correlation between the rainbows on it and the Ten of Cups. The book says, I am guided on my path. With the first quarter moon, the light continues to expand, creating a growing sense of confidence and further illuminating your path. All that is needed right now is one decision, one choice, one sacred step forward, no matter how small. This movement signals to the universe that you are co-creating with it and open to receiving further guidance and support. Part of the magic in your sacred cycles lies in recognizing there is always the opportunity to begin again. The universe is encouraging you to lean into your sovereignty and trust your abilities. You will continue to see your manifestations emerge, and light will shine upon the way ahead. Have faith in the cyclical nature of life and channel it into your intentions and actions. And I love how that even correlates with the Lover's card. And when the Lover's card came out, like that was my first thought, was co-creation. And what I also love about this specific Lover's card is that there is, the feminine there, and then the masculine energy, it looks like the universe, right? Like that could be God, source, divine, spirit, that can be also your higher self. And especially since in the menstrual phase video that we just did, it was talking about returning to your source, your true self. So it is co-creating, literally like with yourself. Or again, like if you feel guided by or connected to, God, source, divine spirit, of course, take that, how that resonates for you specifically. And that the Lover's card is also a card of choices, decisions, and the balance between the feminine and masculine expression of how we approach decisions. Whereas, the feminine is nurturing, creation, receiving, intuition, and the masculine is audacity and initiation, going and getting, protecting even. And again, it's the balance of, or even to the, what can be birthed from, or like what can be fertilized, or is there a different word? Let's see. One isn't coming to me. So, fertilized or created from the emerging of like those two energies together. These apples up here, I just keep looking at those too, and that's knowledge and wisdom. Like the first quarter moon was talking about, it's one choice, one decision that signals the universe, the energies that be, that there is movement, intention, readiness, maybe, because then we have the Fool card. Also, like, interestingly enough, kind of a little bit, the the Lovers is a card of Gemini, and the Fool is Uranus, and Uranus is in Gemini right now. And it will be for the next 7-ish years. So you could be recognizing that there isn't a leap of faith that you are going to be taking, which also even fits in with like where in your life you're ready to take a chance, or how you see your path unfolding. There's almost in this Lovers card, like there's almost this deep trust that is being established with yourself, right? Like with your guidance, the guidance that you do receive. And it is allowing yourself to literally, I mean, take a step on that path. Again, going back to this first quarter moon and what it was talking about, the co-creation that I first, felt with the Lovers card. And then again, like with this Fool card, and she is literally taking that step, which also even feels like surrender, and also a deep trust that the net is going to show up, or the next stone, or whatever, like the path is going to unfold. She doesn't look concerned at all that the next step is like off the cliff, right? And it is like a little delulu, but like in a good way. I mean, like we all need a sprinkle of delulu. And we've all had that at different times in our lives, many different times. But maybe this time there is an awareness of it though, and like a true, connection to, again, like the trust that you have for yourself, the trust that you have in the divine or in God or in spirit. Again, however that resonates for you, and not focusing so much on the uncertainty of the future, but the present moment, which is also like piggybacking off of the menstrual cycle or the menstrual phase video. Let's see what this companion card is talking about. Your body, like a cauldron, holds the energy of what you put into it. Are you putting shame, diminishment, or rejection into it, or acceptance, appreciation, and adoration? Science would have you believe your body is an experiment. Religion would have you believe your body is a sin. A witch would have you believe your body is a marvel, a cauldron of celebration, home to spells of delight, healing, and wonder. Your body is a sacred companion. She is the one entity that will never leave you during your journey as a human. She is always working on your behalf to restore, heal, and create the balance that allows you to fully participate in this life. She is kind enough to let us know when things aren't working, where we need help, relief, or assistance. That kind of loyalty deserves devotion, not diminishment. Shed the weight of expectations, trim down the thoughts of too much or not enough. Dance like your hips move mountains. Put some magic of unabashed self-approval in your cauldron, and witness how the steam of that self-esteem wafts out into the world, passing on permission for other women to feel the same about their unique shape. A witch understands that liking herself and her body just as it is in a toxic patriarchy is an act of rebellion. Be a rebel. There is this vulnerability that is here. Anytime I see, it's interesting actually, like anytime I see nudity, I'm like, that's vulnerable. I think it does take a lot of vulnerability to be naked in front of somebody. But what I mean from it is it is like shedding. It's you without the costume of our clothing or makeup or masking, whatever. I think it is also very vulnerable to take a step on a path that you know is meant for you. Even trust takes vulnerability, and the things that prevent us from being vulnerable, whether it is, with ourselves or with other people, or even, when we're co-creating, because we have to also release any shame, doubt, how we have diminished ourselves throughout the years. It's not only just releasing our own expectations, but expectations that we feel from other people. And this King of Swords, I'm feeling like when I first saw it, I was feeling this energy of trusting your own intellect and your own knowledge and allowing yourself to be seen as somebody who is an authority in a subject, in your work. Swords have to do with our mind and our mindset, logic, truth, honesty. It's our beliefs, the stories that create those belief systems. And again, like intellect, knowledge, wisdom. Going back to the apples that are on the Lover's card. Not just, the things that you learned in school, but just, the experiences that you've had, the subjects that you have an interest in and have done research around. I also see this card as like calculated risks. Speaking of, like where are you ready to take a chance? It's pulling on all of the knowledge and the wisdom that you have accumulated. And it is being able to formulate a plan, to see the bigger picture, and even, trusting yourself to do that. Kings are the highest expression of the suit. People look to the king for guidance and being an authority. It's also interesting that we have the first three cards are air cards. Mind, right? Intellect, logic as well. And then we have the other two cards are cups, emotions, intuition, love. So we're dealing with both, the mind and the body here. And how the King of Swords being in the middle of two air cards and two cups cards, there is this mastery or even a need to recognize your ability to pull on both or to draw from both, to be able to use logic and rely on your wisdom, your experience, your knowledge when necessary, like when you need to draw like more from logic versus emotions. But also even like recognizing the importance of both and how one informs or influences the other. And they're holding the Ace of Swords, which is the sword of truth. It's that balance of what you've read, what you have researched, what you almost can like, it's like factual, you can prove it, type of thing, versus also like what your intuition or what your body is telling you, and somehow being able to like synthesize both of those things. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, having your desires met. It's individual. Like, what is your dream come true? What is like your ultimate outcome? Also, with the mushrooms on this card, because I keep looking at them, I just keep getting this feeling of networks or community, connection. and where you want to fit into all of that. Since again, the Nine of Cups is individual desires. I mean, this is like literally what is best case scenario to you? And also, even like being able to fill your own cup, being able to even meet your own desires and have a sense of fulfillment within yourself. And then also, like, recognizing how that alone kind of like radiates out. It could have something to do with new neural pathways because, I mean, psychedelic mushrooms are said to help create new neural pathways. And also even the need to create those new neural pathways, especially with a Fool card. Like, especially if we're talking about taking a chance, we're talking about calculated risks, we're talking about relying on your knowledge and your intellect, and also allowing yourself to present and to show up as that authority, or as an authority in that knowledge. It's almost like, we have to create those connections in our brain and even in our nervous system to feel safe, or to be able to make that choice, take that step. The Ten of Cups is then like communal fulfillment, whereas, nines are individual, tens have to do with other people, family, friends, your network, your community. I also even love how we start with a card that has two people on it, and we end with a card that has two people on it. I mean, like, if you are looking for a romantic partnership, this would be positive for that. The Lovers card would be getting clear on what that partnership would look like for you, creating that in the ethers, putting yourself out there with the Fool card, not settling with the King of Swords. You know what you want. The Nine of Cups, taking care of yourself, being complete with yourself, feeling a sense of wholeness and fulfillment and purpose within yourself. And then the Ten of Cups would be like the cherry on top. It would be the person would be adding to your sense of fulfillment or purpose, and vice versa. Like, you would be the same for them versus them being the source of that fulfillment or that completion, right? Like, you find it in yourself first. You recognize it. You give it to yourself first, because even like this companion card even said, you are the one who is always going to be there with yourself. If there is a part of you that feels incomplete or feels unable to do something, complete something, take action towards something, take a chance, take that leap of faith, co-create with your higher being, with, again, I know I keep saying this, but, like, God, source, divine spirit, like, if you feel that, I guess really what I'm trying to say is it's realizing that you are capable of manifesting before this shows up for you. Let's see what the House card is talking about. Moment of order. If you want to talk to the gods and the stars, start by planting your feet on the ground. At this moment, you are on a search, but maybe you don't need to go that far to find the answers you seek. If sometimes you embark on long and treacherous journeys despite seeking the answers to the most existential matters. Oh, what did I say? Hang on. If sometimes you embark on long and treacherous journeys, desperately seeking the answers to the most existential matters, but you avoid making your bed in the morning, then maybe the next revelation you seek is in doing the dishes. The spiritual answers are not only in the temples, but also in the very ordinary activities that compose life and that you avoid sometimes. Maybe it is a simple task, sending an email you've been avoiding, returning a phone call, cleaning your room, doing your laundry, practicing your meditation, visiting a friend, or even walking your dog. But you must stay grounded and connected to your material life to avoid living in the clouds. You'll be surprised how the most mystical answers can come from watering your plants. You see, everything is spiritual work if you understand that the whole experience of life is the miracle. Please don't forget to live while you search for the gods. Harmonizing your spiritual and material life, appreciating the magic of daily life, finding wisdom in simplicity, and being grounded. I mean, that is like, stopping and smelling the roses and, finding beauty in the small things, and also even taking care of yourself, which is what we were talking about with the Nine of Cups. It's also even, like not outsourcing your fulfillment and purpose, but finding it within yourself. It's interesting we have the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. It kind of feels like it kind of feels a little bit like a call out, because the Five of Swords is I'm right and you're wrong. Because we can see that, yeah, we can see that the figure here in the front, they're holding three swords. These two people have dropped their swords and they're walking away. I mean, this person is like, armored up, whereas it's like the other two might have been trying to talk reason. Maybe there has been a conflict or some sort of tension. Fives have to do with conflict, tension. Six of Pentacles is accepting help from others. It could also, of course, be giving assistance or help. But like, see the difference? Whereas the Five of Swords is, again, like, I'm right. I'm sticking to my guns on this. I know, since we're talking swords, I know from my head space, right, that it is true. And also, I mean, this would be a question for you to ask yourself. Like, is it worth fighting for? Sometimes it is, right? Like, sometimes it is, these two other people just don't necessarily get it. And you're having to try to justify your way of thinking, or again, the wisdom, the knowledge, the knowing that you have. I think too, actually, how this is now unfolding for me as I'm sitting here, I think it is being very discerning over who you share that with. It's probably not, whatever it is, it's probably not going to be for everybody. Why try to convince them? And also, what belief, or what even limiting belief do you have where you are potentially really trying to get people to understand? You don't have to do that. You don't have to get people to understand your perspective, especially if they are shut down to it. Because that can happen, like through conflict, right? Like people just kind of shut down, or puff up, or, it's not being present. It's not it's coming from a story or a belief. It's not necessarily rooted in truth, to a certain extent. So just be discerning of where and why and how you are trying to justify literally really anything, and that their rejection or their inability to understand or connect to, or even their inability to properly communicate, has nothing to do with you. And it's not your responsibility to manage. Because with the Six of Pentacles, like, this is, again, like, look at the difference here. These people are open to receiving what this person in the middle is giving. In the Five of Swords, she feels shut down, or she looks, and to me, feels shut down and also very guarded. I also even kind of love how, it kind of looks like there's a storm going on. And even in the Six of Pentacles, it looks like the storm is behind them now, whereas they're kind of like right under it in the Five of Swords. In the Six of Pentacles, it's moved on. So that tension, that, just high energy that creates lightning and thunder, humidity, the moisture that's in the air. I'm not a weather expert. I'm just like kind of going along with that analogy, but like, it's like the storm has passed. And also, I wouldn't even try to avoid this Five of Swords. Like, I think that there is a lot of information to be found there for you. Why am I trying to convince these people? Why am I trying to share something with them that they're not really capable of receiving for whatever reason? That has nothing to do with you. Whereas there are people that could and would and will benefit from your knowledge and will want to support you also, because the Six of Pentacles is an energy exchange. Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it, the access to resources, our time, our body as well. Going back to, this companion card. I mean, literally, these people are like, please share what you have with us. And it does not have to be money. Of course, money can be involved. That is also an energy exchange. This is like, again, sharing your wisdom, even sharing what you have been divinely guided, literally created to share with the world, or with people who are in a place of being ready and capable of receiving it. Again, I think it's important to recognize the difference. So again, I don't think it's a good idea to avoid this Five of Swords. I think you need to be able to see and to even sense in your body. And I think it even would go into like this King of Swords energy, just being able to discern. Also, again, like recognizing it doesn't have to do with you, and also recognizing where you want to invest your time and your resources. Certainly not in people who are just not there yet. Maybe they will be eventually. Maybe not. Who knows? But there are people who already are. And it's like, then we have the Three of Wands and the Three of Cups behind that, the Strength card, the Chariot, Justice. Oh my God. We could just keep going. We might. Three of Wands, taking action towards opportunities. It is putting your plan into action, broadening your horizons, seeing, the possibility of the thing. You have to start from where you're at. The Three of Cups. Again, even going back to these mushrooms, networking, community, connection, even with the 10 of Cups as well, the 6 of Pentacles down here. This is, people supporting each other, support from others, liberation, even cleansing. Because I'm with the water there. Everybody has their own full cup in this card. And you're part of that. The Strength card, again, bravery, courage, determination, perseverance. It's like recognizing that you are that bitch, because you are. The Chariot, divinely guided, movement forward. The first quarter moon was talking about that. Duality also, which is part of the Lovers card. This is love and light and our shadow all heading in the same direction, because they're two parts of one being. The Justice card, the scales balancing, fate, reaping what you've sown. This is like, the outcome of your effort and intention. The Knight of Cups is leading with your heart. Even, like there's a ton of green in the Knight of Cups, heart chakra. There's also a ton of yellow, solar plexus, self-esteem, creativity, expression. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.